Okay, so this short video is to show you what you need to do for your portfolio for college writing. Step one would be to select which 3 of the 7 writing learning outcomes you want to develop document pages for in your portfolio. From the home page of our college writing course, right below the syllabus is the learning outcomes page. And essentially 1 through 7 are fair game here. So let's say you decide you want to do 3 and 5 and 7. The thing to do would be to go to Mahara, portfolio.purchase.edu, log in. You'll see your dashboard page. You could publish a journal for your reflections, but at this point there's not really any need to go that route. You can use text boxes on your portfolio pages to add your thoughts about your materials. You might want to pre-upload files that you know you're going to use in your portfolio. So if you go to the files area, you could create a folder for college writing and any subfolders within that you want. And once you're looking at that folder, you can browse to find files on your computer, but whether you use Windows or Mac, it's just as easy to just drag and drop files from your computer desktop or from some folder of materials onto the file upload place space in Mahara, and all of those files then would be up in your portfolio for you to use. You can edit the properties of any of these uploaded files. If you wanted to tweak the file name, that would be one thing. One thing that might be useful would be to add a description. So here are some examples. Because depending on how you display the file on your portfolio page, you can show not only the file name but also the description. And the description can be, several sentences long if you want to have that kind of explanatory material. Thing to do on your portfolio page or from the dashboard, clicking on the Pages link would be to go into the Pages area of your portfolio space. You will all have a dashboard and profile page. You may or may not have other pages if you've created any. So we were talking about learning outcomes 3, 5, and 7. So the thing to do would be to create a page for each of those. So I'll just call it SLO number 3. For the page description, you can come back into Moodle and take what that actual learning outcome is and paste that into the description. Click Save, and you're on the edit screen for that page. Again, you can use text boxes to put commentary reflections on the page here for learning outcome 3. And I'm not going to try for this video to say anything intelligent in the content for this block. You can attach files to these blocks if you wanted to display your files that way. So just go into your college writing folder if you've pre-uploaded files and go ahead and select, and you'll see that that file is now attached to this text block. You can make sure you do give your your objects that you're putting onto the page a more descriptive name, and then click Save, and you can see that you can begin to build up the content for this page. Now, one thing you will want to do perhaps for your portfolio pages is to move away from the default, which is to have this 3-column newspaper kind of format. If you want instead to have a couple of columns, you could click on Edit Layout, and instead of the 3-column format, pick, say, 2 equal size columns, or a wide left column and a narrow right column, whatever you think works best for your page. Save it. And so there would be a space where you could add examples of your work and comments about that work to show how you're meeting outcome 3. So you can put on text boxes, you can put on images, and you'll want to have either pre-uploaded files, or you can also upload images on the fly. I don't know if I've got any good images right off the desktop here. Maybe not, but you get the idea. I'm just going to cancel this out. But you can put images onto your portfolio pages. If you have uploaded files and organize them in folders within your college writing folder, you could select individual files that you want to put on your page. You can put a whole folder of files onto your page. If you've got some PDFs, you could put the PDF on the page, and hopefully it will just display on the page rather than be as an embedded PDF, rather than just being a link to a PDF. If you want to upload your presentations from class, PDF files, PowerPoint files, you can add those as files for people who are viewing your page to download, etc. If you did do journaling, you have the ability to put a whole journal or a specific journal entry. You might want to think about putting a Creative Commons license on your materials, because they are your intellectual property. So you can drag that down and specify whether or not you want people to be able to use your work for commercial purposes. If you say no, just select no. You can allow people to modify your work or not. If you do allow people to modify your work, I would recommend that you would enforce your Creative Commons licensing on that modified work. Click Save, and Mahara will go out to the Creative Commons site and create this block. So that would be one page. If you go back to the Pages area, you can create a page for the second learning outcome that you want to focus on. Again, go back to Moodle to collect the description. Save that. Won't bother doing any editing on that page. Do the same thing, create a page for the third one. Bring over the description. So this will give you 3 pages where you can focus individually on each of the 3 outcomes that you want to focus on for your portfolio once, or at any point, whether before the portfolio pages are ready or not. You can then bundle them into a collection. So if you click on the collections link, you can create a new collection. Call it my or demo. You put your name on it. Students college writing portfolio. And then the next step would be to determine which pages you want to be part of that portfolio collection. And you can reorder them if you think the learning outcome number 7 is the most important. You want to have that show up first in the list. Then you can use the up and down arrows to move these back and forth. And when you are done, you have a collection here that will provide easy access in a tabbed kind of format to the pages that you have bundled into this collection. And as you continue to work on your pages, the pages as they show up in this collection will continue to show that ongoing work. So the last thing then would be to make your portfolio collection accessible, at least to me, and if you wish to the class as well. By default, everything you do in Mahara is private to you until you specifically put stuff onto a portfolio page and share those pages with others. I've set up a group. It's called College Writing Fall 2014, CRN 41272. This is not the same group we were looking at in class. Actually, I already had a group set up. You're all already members, so you don't have to request to become a member of the group. So this allows you, if you go back into your portfolio space and you click on the Shared by Me link, you can see that this portfolio collection that you've put together is currently accessible by no one. So if you click the Edit Access button, you will see your different options for who you can add to the access list. Currently, it's nobody. You can make your collection public if you want. You can share it with your friends on the Mahara system if you have done any of the social networking that's available within Mahara. But you're all members of this college writing group, so you can, if you want to share your portfolio with the class so that everyone can see what, how everyone has approached this portfolio, you can click to share the college writing, and it will then show up there. If you click Save, then you'll see that this portfolio collection that you've set up, it can now be accessed by anyone who's a member of our college writing group in Mahara. So that gives everyone access to this in Mahara. I also want you to provide a link to your portfolio space into an assignment that I'll be setting up in Moodle. If you make your portfolio public or share it with the the course group that we have in Mahara, you can just provide me the URL. It'll look something like this that points directly to your collection, and that's what you would paste into the text assignment in Moodle, and that would show me where to go to see your portfolio. If you decide not to share your portfolio with the whole class, you'll need to give me, you have a couple of options. You can again go to the Shared by Me page and edit the access list for the portfolio, and what you can do is then search among the users for Landa, and you'll find several show up. In fact, you'll find 2 separate Keith Landa accounts because of some other testing I do on the system. You want to select the account with my little South Park avatar. And so if you click plus there, you've provided access to me individually, as well as deciding whether or not you want to provide access to the college writing group. If you do that, then again you can provide me this URL for your portfolio collection in the Moodle assignment, and I'll know where to go to look to see your pages. There's one other feature I want to point out, and that's this secret URL. And this can be useful down the road. If you add a secret URL to your portfolio collection, then you see you can provide this more complicated URL that people won't be able to guess, essentially. And that URL allows anyone you give it to view your portfolio, whether they're logged into our Mahara system or not, whether they're a member of your college writing group or not, whatever. So this approach is useful if you want to share a portfolio with a potential employer down the road or an internship coordinator, if you're trying to arrange an internship while you're here. And so you could just generate a secret URL and put that into the Moodle assignment to provide access to your portfolio as well. So again, in Moodle, figure out which learning outcomes you want to address. In Mahara, upload any files, pictures, images, PowerPoints, PDF files, anything that you want to use in your portfolio. On your portfolio space, set up pages for each of your outcomes that you want to address. Edit the outcomes to change the layout and to put on whatever kinds of resources, different files, different text boxes where you're describing what you've done and what it means, images, whatever you want to put on your pages. Bundle the pages into a collection, and then share that collection appropriately, either through a secret URL to me or to our college writing group, so that people can see the work that you've put together. And then provide either the secret URL or just the URL for your portfolio if I've got access to it in the assignment in Moodle, so that I can look at it at the end of finals week and check that off.